What do you do with customers that leave bad reviews? Unwarranted bad reviews. Of course, there's always a warranted bad review, but what do you do with an unwarranted bad review? Hey everyone, how's it going? So you are just listening to me today. It's the end of the day. I had to do this one in the shop. So I figured I want to tell you about two particular customers that left bad reviews. And as far as I'm concerned, they're unwarranted. The first one was, I think, in June. I'm not quite sure. I never said anything about this one. But a customer comes in and he needs an AC. His AC wasn't working. So he wanted an AC recharge. Okay, well, let's find out why your AC isn't working. So we get it in, hook the machine up, and here's our machine. It's a Robinair. A Robinair is like one of the better machines you can buy. So we hook the machine up, we check, it's extremely low on refrigerant. Okay. So I tell them, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to recharge it. When I say extremely low, I think it was supposed to hold 1.5 pounds, and I think it had like 0.7 of a pound. Like, we hooked the pressure gauges up to it, and then we recovered it. So it had about 0.7 of a pound in it. Okay, I said, what I wanna do is I'm gonna recharge it and add tracer dye to the system. Okay, that's fine. So he was waiting in the office. So all of a sudden, when we go to recharge it, we went to go add the tracer dye, which the machine does automatically. You have to pick it. You have to choose to add tracer dye and how much. Choose to add tracer dye. Go through the cycle, it adds the dye. And then when we went to go charge, all of a sudden the machine says system overpressure, meaning internally in the machine itself. It's like, okay, well, this is weird. This has never done this before. Okay. So we start playing around with the machine, trying to see if it can't get it to, straighten itself out. Shut it off, reboot it, the whole 9 yards. Nope, it is not doing it. It will not unlock itself. It keeps coming up system high pressure, internal. Okay, it's got to be a problem with the pressure switch or something that just happened to fail. So now the grand total of time was about 45 to 50 minutes for this whole process, from the time he walked through the door till I was going to tell him what happened. So I went up to him and I said, Mr. Jones, I apologize. We are having a problem with the equipment. We were able to verify the refrigerant level was very low. We went to go recharge it. We added tracer dye, and now the machine has locked up and it will not allow us to proceed forward. So he's like, okay, so now what? I said, well, unfortunately, there's nothing more I can do at this point in time. I said, if you want me to, I can bring it to one of our other shops and have it recharged, shop that we deal with. No. That's just tell me what I owe you and give me my car back. Okay. Put everything back together. So now it's a grand total of an hour by the time I get the car up front, and he meets me out front, and this guy is hostile at this point. And I was like, sir, I do apologize, completely out of my control. And he comes walking up to me, like gets in my face, and he goes, this is not the way you treat customers. Okay, I agree. This is not our norm. We had equipment failure, completely out of the norm. We only have this machine. We have nothing else. I offered to take it to a shop that we deal with, and I would pay them for the recharge, and then give it back to you, and you decided you didn't want to do that. I would never treat a customer the way you're treating me. Here we go. Let me ask you a question. What would you do? I'm a motorcycle technician. Fantastic. That's great. So you kind of understand when equipment fails. Our equipment doesn't fail because we buy the best equipment. Really. You never have equipment fail because you buy the best equipment. And I mean, I didn't say that to him, but of course, that's what's going through my head because I'm trying to be cordial to the customer because I know the customer's upset, and I get it. I would never treat a customer this way. I would make sure that I got it fixed. There again, I offered to take it somewhere else right now while you're waiting. He goes, I've already been waiting an hour. I've waited long enough. Just give me my keys and let me go. How much do I owe you? You don't owe me anything, sir. Have a great day. So he leaves. Sure enough, he leaves a 1-star Google review, and he talks about how unprofessional we were, how I didn't even seem to care that I couldn't fix his car, and how the equipment that we have is trash. It's a Robinair. It's one of the better machines out there. You know, things happen, equipment fails. What are you going to do? So yeah, and it's just like, of course, we tried to contact him and he won't respond. And it's just like, really? Like, there's nothing I could do about it. Next one, this is a great one. Guy comes in and he says, hey, he goes, 2 years ago, you guys put a clutch in my Jeep Wrangler. Okay. He says, I have it at another shop and I want to show you something. So he brings us the clutch disc. Now this is not it. This is from a vehicle that we had to do a rear main seal on, and the customer decided let's do a clutch at the same time. So here's the clutch disc, okay? Here's the pressure plate. And if you look at the pressure plate, the wear pattern is perfect, okay? The wear pattern's great. This clutch is not shot by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing wrong with this clutch, okay? Now if you look at this clutch, see how nicey nice everything looks, right? It looks really good. Oops. I accidentally dropped it. See that on the edge where I just dropped it? The guy points to that and he says, you see that? He goes, the other shop says you installed it wrong. No, it's not that we installed it wrong. The other shop, because what happened was he went to them for an oil leak. The wear was perfect. The clutch was not worn out or anything. There was no hot spots, no nothing. And matter of fact, they dropped it further than what I just dropped it, you know, and it must have hit at some kind of an angle. Let me see if I can't, ow, let's see if I can't duplicate what happened to his clutch. Maybe not. But anyway, what happened was on his, it hit the floor from such a height where the disc hit, it actually, it tweaked up a hair. It tweaked up a hair. So he was showing me that, and he was saying, you know, all I want is some money back. For what? The other shop dropped it. There's nothing wrong with the clutch. Did you have any clutch chattering or anything like that? No. With the clutch, if it was bent and there was a problem with it hanging up, that would have a worn spot to it. There would be a hot spot on the pressure plate. There'd be a hot spot on the flywheel. And he had a picture of the flywheel. He didn't have the flywheel with him, but he had a photo of the flywheel. And the wear was perfect. I explained it to him. That's from it dropping. He didn't want to hear it. Absolutely didn't want to hear it. So then he points to the oil pan where we had resealed it apparently. And if you looked, it was gobbed with silicone. Now remember, this was done 2 years ago. We didn't do that with the silicone. The guy who did it, who's no longer here, he was basically the lead technician in the shop, kind of like I am. And he was notorious for not using any silicone at all. Even in corners, like we'd get a car back with dripping and we'd have to do the job again because he would never even put silicone in the corners. He was notorious for that. But I guess he had good luck with doing it that way and never had many problems. So, but yeah, he never put silicone on anything. So it was like, they're replacing the rear main seal. We did an oil pan gasket on this thing 2 years ago, and I see all the silicone, and it was just on the back edge, which tells me somebody went and tried packing silicone up in there. It was probably the rear main seal that was leaking. The gray silicone that was on it wasn't that dirty. So it looked like it was recent. So I got a funny feeling somebody went up in there and tried to pack silicone in there to cover up the rear main seal that was leaking, not the oil pan gasket that we had done 2 years ago. So he wanted money back. And it's like, no, why didn't you bring it to us? He couldn't explain why he didn't bring it to us. It made no sense. Why didn't you bring it to us? We would have looked at it, and if it was something we did, we would have fixed it. But then you come in and ask, like, how do we know that's even from the same car? How do I know he doesn't have 2 Wranglers? How do I know that that clutch was actually from a Wrangler? We don't know. We have no idea. So we're like, no, unfortunately, it's out of warranty anyway, because it's been 2 years. So, what would you like us to do? You want us to give you money back? I'm sorry, we can't do that. If you want to bring the car to us, well, it's all apart. Well, that's not our fault. Anyway, so he's like, okay, thank you, whatever. He leaves, and he leaves us a 1-star review. And he says, that we installed faulty parts, and that we even admitted that our work was trash. That's his words, which I find it funny that he used trash and the other guy uses the word trash for the equipment. He said, we admitted that our work was trash. No, we didn't. I admitted that the silicone up there was trash, but I never said that we did it, and I don't think we did. I 100% guarantee you that we didn't, because the guy Pablo, who was the lead tech here beforehand, like I said, he was notorious for not using silicone in corners. And if he ever did, he didn't glob it on, that's for sure. He knew more than that. So it was done by somebody else. And there again, was it even the same car? How do we know? We're not just going to hand you money. Seriously? So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. It's just, you just can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And it happens almost daily when you deal with people that just come up with these absolutely insane things that they expect you to take care of or expect you to bow down to them or whatever. But it's like, no, I hate to say it, but we don't need customers like that. Bye. Bye. All right, guys. Anyway, that's it. If you look down in the description, you'll see I have links for Amazon products that I personally use and I recommend. I'm asking you to give a click, I'm not asking you to buy anything. If you do buy something, that's great. I appreciate it. I do get a very small percentage, but every little bit helps, right? So I would appreciate it. Other than that, I hope you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. Hit the notification button too, or whatever the heck it's called. I don't even know what it's called. All right, that's it. Guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.